Hello, everyone. So this video is really about the animals and the animal spirits and what's happening to the animals on our earth at the moment, what their message is for us. And I've had a lot of really interesting animals popping up on my radar. I've particularly had a lot of animals of the sea and the oceans and the waterways popping up on my radar. And there's been a lot of messages about the emotions of the animals, the message of the animals, how the animals are helping us to evolve and ascend, and also how far we've come in terms of animal conservation and humans having more empathy for the animals. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today is a company that's actually come up on my radar, and they're doing really, really beautiful work with the conservation of sea otters in Monterey Bay in California. And I visited Monterey Bay many years ago now. God, I can't even remember what year it was. I think it was about 2014, the last time I was in Monterey Bay. And it was kind of an embarrassing story, really. And because of this embarrassing story, I made it my mission to find out what was actually going on there, because I was with a friend. We'd been home to Australia and we'd planned this trip up the coast of Highway 1 in California. And we drove all the way from LA up the coast, ended up in San Francisco, and then we went up to Mount Shasta. And it was probably a 2 or 3 week journey. But when we got to Monterey Bay, I was so excited. I looked into the water and I saw these beautiful animals frolicking. And at first I thought they were seals, and I got very excited and probably looked like a complete doolally. And I shouted to my friend, "Oh my God, there's seals in here." And obviously Monterey Bay is very, very famous for its otters. And a man was walking by and he looked at me and just went, "They're not seals, they're otters." He was like, "Tourists." Anyway, after that, I became very aware of not only of the otters and how beautiful they are and how cat-like they are. I kind of see them as the cats of the sea. They're so beautiful. But I became very aware of the otters and the importance of otter conservation. And it came to my attention that actually the otters faced near extinction quite a few years ago because of the fur trade, but now they are a protected species and they're very protected in Monterey Bay. And they have a really important function actually to do with the kelp forests and the kelp under the sea. And what happens is kelp forests make a really great food source for lots of little critters. And the otters are actually one of it keeps the ecosystem going. So the otters will eat the critters that eat the kelp. Obviously, kelp is an incredible oxygen producing plant. It also helps to keep our oceans clean. And there's a myriad of other benefits of the kelp forests. So this beautiful ecosystem is kept going by our gorgeous otters. And obviously, there are so many companies that are working planet-wide, not just in California, but I absolutely love this company because they are basically creating some of the most beautiful AAA grade crystal jewelry. And I'm going to show you what they're creating at the moment. So you'll see I'm wearing two of their bracelets. One is blue apatite, and the other one here is multi-amazonite. These are A-grade crystals, AAA grade crystals. Just hold it up. And they've all got a little otter tag on them. And $1 for every one of their bracelets sold goes towards the otter conservation projects in Monterey Bay. So I wanted to give them a shout out because there you go. There's my little otter family $1 donation card. And I just wanted to give them a shout out because you also when you buy their jewelry, you get a discount code as a gift from me. So I'm going to put the links below because you'll get a special discount code if you want to purchase any of their jewelry. And I just wanted to show you how cute this is. So every bracelet comes in a really cute little box. And when you open the box, there's a little message about your gemstone, and there's a little card of authenticity. So telling you that it is authentic gemstones from Otter Spirit with their logo. And then on the back, you'll get a little message. Oh, you can't see it because of my light. You'll get a little message about your crystal. So the one I'm opening now is Aventurine. And it says, my world is filled with abundance. Well, isn't that interesting? Because in my Shift Network course this week, hi to all my Shift Network students, we did the Angels of Abundance. So here's some abundance. Absolutely beautiful. And so I got a trio of bracelets. You can buy them as singular bracelets, or you can buy little trios. And I ordered the Good Luck trio. I just love this. I think it's so cute. And obviously I love all the greens and the turquoises. So there's my aventurine, and I'm just going to add that to my little trio. I love that it goes with my top. I just wore this top by fluke today. I didn't actually plan to sit down and do this. So there we go, matching. I love the universe. And so this is my little good luck bracelet trio. I'm wearing it on my right hand because it's looking to the future and the good luck for the future. And I have, there we go, there's the other cards, Blue Apatite, Multi-Amazonite, and Aventurine as a little trio. So the three messages are, I am healing at my own pace, I communicate clearly and confidently, and my world is filled with abundance. So just a little shout out to those guys, because it's so aptly themed with our animal spirit and our animal healing theme today, and they're doing such good work in the world. So yeah, and to give $1 for every product sold. They're very reasonable, and you'll get a discount if you fancy going on and perusing their beautiful goods. So they are called Otter Spirits, otterspirit.com. And I'll pop all the links below so that you'll get your goodie, your discount code from me. So on that note, on the water theme, I just want to pull a card or two, or maybe 3 or 4. We'll see where we go, and just see what cards come up. And I'm already feeling all the animal spirits coming in around us. So otter, of course, beautiful, gorgeous otters. They're so cute. I love how they float on their back and, have their little bellies in the air and hold on to their little babies. We have horse spirit coming in. We have cat spirit. We have tiger spirit coming in. We have jaguar. We have giraffe. I have a really beautiful wildebeest. We have a springbok coming in. We have elk. We have reindeer. We've got the snake spirit coming in. Of course, this year is the year of the snake. So all these beautiful animals. And okay, so I'm just pulling a couple of cards here. Oh, I've got the camel on the card. Couple of cards coming through. Okay, leopard, amazing. Oh, what a lovely reading. What a lovely reading. So I've pulled 4 cards. I've just felt compelled to pull these 4 cards, and then there's a 5th, and 5 being the number of change and transformation. So when I look at this reading overall, and I'll show you the cards in a minute, overall, I get this message of cleansing. And if we look at the bigger picture, we're going through a great cleansing on our planet. We're being cleansed of anywhere we've fallen asleep. We're being awakened anywhere we've closed our eyes, our hearts, and our minds to the plight of each other, to each other's emotions, needs, to spirit, particularly to spirit, to the divine. And this great awakening is not only awakening us to each other and to the divine, but it's awakening us to that innate truth that the divine exists within us. The divine is within as well as without. And in that divinity, we are all connected: brother, sister, plant, animal, ethers, crystals, minerals. That living consciousness lives within everything. So if I look at these 5 cards, they really tell a story about where we've been, where we are, and where we are going. And the dove, the peace dove, appears twice. Oh, twice? Yes, twice in these cards. So we start off with the evaporation card, and I'm really drawn to the camels here in the background. I love how the animal spirits are really talking to me. And the woman who's carrying the earthen jar of water on her head, the message is evaporation. It's almost like what's drying up. When we look at actually at the moment, the economy is doing some stuff, and maybe in recent years or in recent times, you might have found that some of your resources have dried up. Maybe you feel like even your friendships, your relationships are drying up, people dropping out of your life, but resources drying up. And there's been this need to perhaps stockpile or save for a rainy day or withhold some of your resources. Sometimes this is our emotional resources or our energetic resources. And the camel, as the spirit animal, is saying, you know, store up your energy, store up your water. We're learning this also as healers and empaths in our healthy boundaries. You know, where are you giving too much, not receiving, not saving something for yourself? Where are you saying yes to every invitation, opportunity, or to every cry for help? And yes, I know that, you know, as healers and helpers, that's part of our service work to help others. But can you discern whether there is a genuine need for help with each individual case, or whether people are just pulling at your energy? And the camel says, you know, store up your own energy, store up your own resources, put your oxygen mask on first. I know we bandy that phrase around a lot, but you're more able to give to others when your cup is full and overflowing. So I'm kind of getting this. A lot of you might have been feeling really exhausted, really tired. You're also releasing, you're also going through a cleanse. And many of us are actually clearing on behalf of the collective for those that aren't able to release. Those of us that have the ability to and have the knowledge and the know-how, we are doing a lot of a cleaning house, shall we say, for the many. So until the well is filled up again, there may have been, and this is the first card in the reading. So this may be in the past for you. It might have been that you've had to take some time out. You might have had to say no to a few people. When I look at it, I also think of in the past when we had the pandemic, we were all stockpiling. There was the great toilet paper debacle, the stockpiling of the toilet paper. But I'm also getting this message that with us kind of drawing back and retreating in that time period, many animals have had the opportunity to flourish again. And I did have my beautiful tiger, Fateh. If you go back a couple of years in my YouTube channel, I went on a trip to Bali and then India in 2019, and I met in my vision the night before I went on a tiger safari, an amazing tiger, and we had an incredible conversation. And the following day, I met that tiger. He said, "You will meet me tomorrow." And I met that tiger in the flesh the following day and his mate. And he was one of the oldest and biggest tigers in the whole of India. And I was able to deliver him a message from the jungle. And I had no idea the pandemic was coming, but I was able to say to him, "Fateh, the jungle says the jungles are about to regenerate." Because this tiger was refusing to mate with his partner. And he said, "I don't want to procreate anymore because our jungles are being encroached upon, our corridors are dwindling, and we have nowhere to go, and our habitat is being taken over by humans." And when I gave him that message from the jungle, and I said, "Well, the jungle said that they're about to regenerate," this tiger and his mate chased after our vehicle as we left and mated in front of us. And I've been following his progress. I then found out that they did have tiger cubs, they did have babies. And then many years later, this beautiful tiger actually then escaped from the reserve. He escaped from the enclosure, and I think his family went with him. I need to find out. But he ended up, I think, roaming free, and I have no idea if he's still alive. But my heart just goes out to that beautiful creature. He was so beautiful. And I really felt at the time we shouldn't be in his space. You know, we shouldn't be in his space. I know that these tiger reserves are for their protection as well, so that they do have some jungle, so they are doing good work. But I also was really aware of all the people taking photos and gawping at him. And he was a wild tiger in a wild habitat. But that message is really beautiful, you know, that these animals are, a lot of the animals are pushing back. A lot of the animals are tuning into Mother Nature, and they're saying, enough, enough. You need to respect our habitat. You need to respect Mother Nature. There are a lot of shark attacks in Australia at the moment, which is really sad. But we are learning how to live in harmony with the animals again, and we're learning how to respect the animals again. we need to respect them as much as they have respected us. And when we're encroaching on their land, on their waterways, polluting their waterways, we need to get used to the fact that everything is balance, and what we give out, we're going to get back. And when humanity doesn't respect Mother Nature's letting us know. It's not a punishment thing, but it is an energy. I think it's an energy response. So have respect and love. I'm reminded of the horses at Royal Horse Guards as well. You see those videos of them on social media, and some people, they'll bite and they'll kick, and other people, they're so gentle with. It's like they can really sense the intention of the person that's with them. They can see the soul of the person who's with them. So really hold the animals in your heart and have respect for Mother Nature. And yeah, this feeling of drawing back, a paring back of perhaps our material wants, needs, and desires has forced us to go back into our hearts. And this is part of this cleansing. So here we have the White Spring in Glastonbury. And again, a few videos back, there was an important message that I channeled from the White Spring in Glastonbury, and the message was the dust will settle. The dust will settle. Here we have the Dove of Peace coming in, and this card feels like this is coming into our present moment. We're sort of moving from the past into the present, and this is about deep cleansing and renewal. And this card is in the middle position with the cenote card, and you can see that she's pouring the rainbow into the waters of the cenote. So there's a lot coming up. It's almost like the underground springs or the deeper, more hidden aspects of life are being purified, coming up to the surface to be cleansed and to be seen. And from above, she has the peace dove here in the White Spring, and the snake shedding its skin coming down here from the Mayan tradition. And we also have the leopard here, the leopard keeping watch, keeping guard. And I'm reminded of that saying, the leopard never changes its spots. Animals are always going to be animals. You know, we can't expect them to fit into our way of life. You know, the wild will always be the wild. It's like that wild, untamable, the nature. But in the same way, we're going through this purification and this cleanse because humanity is coming back to our true nature. And we've got the Mayan calendar down here, which of course ended, well, many people believe 2012 it ended, but I think it officially ended in 2019. So we are in the new epoch. We are in the new paradigm. We are learning again to live in harmony with nature and the animals, but we need to be able to come into our hearts. And I really believe that part of our innate abilities, our divine blueprint, is to be able to speak telepathically with each other and with nature and with the animals. And I'm definitely noticing that, you know, my cat is talking more and more, and we have wonderful chats, and she tells me exactly what she needs. And she tells me through her emotions and her feelings. She will transmit a feeling to me, and it's less so in kind of verbal words and more in just a straight knowing. You know, if she's hungry, I know. And it's not even in, you know, the state of her cry, because she cries a lot. She's like got a little baby's cry. But she will transmit, I'm hungry, or I want to go outside, or I'm sleepy, or whatever it is she needs, or give me healing is a big one she does quite often now. So this the telepathic part of our nature, the innocence, the true knowing, coming back into, and it's like we're coming back into the waters of the womb of the Divine Mother, ready for a rebirth. And that takes me to our next card, which is very exciting. Here we have the Droplet card, and this is all about new beginnings. This is the first card in the Water Alchemy Oracle deck in the pack. Again, we have the Dove of Peace. Something is unfurling. See how the fern unfurls and all the fronds, and you can't see those inner fronds. They're all kind of bunched up. But as they open, we're going to see leaf by leaf what this new world we're entering looks like. And here we have the beautiful butterfly. We're allowing our vulnerability to show. We're coming into contact with our emotions and our feelings again. And we're not being afraid to ask for what we need. There's a blossoming going on here. And, you know, before a plant grows, it is in the dark, it's in the moist soil, you can't see it. But as it comes up to blossom, it's like little by little, the Fibonacci sequence, that unconditional love, sacred geometry sequence. Again, I get a message of peace because we have the peace lily right underneath the dove of peace. And there's all these beautiful yellows and whites and purities. We've got ladybirds, which is a good luck symbol. We've got the bees. And this whole spider web behind is like the diamond web, the new web of creation that we're mapping our new beginning on. It's like the old restrictive grids are coming down, and we're mapping our new life, our new epoch onto a new web of creation, which is about purity and love and peace and abundance for all, you know, coming into collaboration, community, communication. And any other animals on there? We've got a little caterpillar on there. So the bees, the caterpillars, it's all about pollination. We have to look after the bees. Bee conservation is so important. If we don't pollinate, we don't eat. So we really need to look after the bees. And then again, here I'm looking, here we have two swans. So this is a message of sacred union, collaboration, community, everyone working together, male, female. Let go of all the conflict and the animosity. Forget the battle of the sexes. We're here to transmute and transform. It isn't us against them, working together. We're here to work together. And that's not to diminish women coming back into their power, but it isn't going to be a power over like the patriarchy has been. It's a power to and a power for all. Finally, look, again, I'm getting all the sea creatures. Beautiful, beautiful. And I think in Antarctica, this huge iceberg the size of Chicago just broke away, and they found an entire new ecosystem underneath that whole, there's a whole new world of life that they've just discovered. So when we think we know it all, it's such a good metaphor. When we think we know it all, there is always something new to learn. We're always going to learn something new. So then finally, we have the rock pool card. What are we unearthing? Here's all these sea creatures, all the beautiful creatures and snails and crustaceans. And this rock pool card is about showing your true colors and celebrating your true colors and being unafraid to be seen for who you are. So many of us have been really in a freeze response, like just following the rules, unable to be who we want to be, working all the hours, all the time to try and make some money. And it's time for us all to be celebrating our uniqueness, our individuality, with harm to none. And I always live by that, harm to none, coming into unconditional love, allowing ourselves to be who we are. And this is why we have such a celebration of diversity on the planet. Yes, there's been distortions in some of this. There's distortions in a lot of things at the moment, but we're really seeing both sides of the coin. We're seeing the light and the shadow of all of it, but it has to change. And if we come into loving acceptance, not just of each other, but of everything that's going on, and we are unafraid to look at what's going on, we're unafraid to see it, warts and all, that is how we heal it. So the shadow within us, the shadow in each other, the shadow on the planet is on the rise, but it is filtering out like a litmus paper. And pretty soon we're all going to be flying and raising the frequency, celebrating ourselves. And this card is also kind of saying, you know, don't compete with anyone else. Don't compare yourself with anyone else. This guy's looking to the heavens. Celebrate yourself and your true colors and carve your own path. And just let yourself really champion yourself. There's no one he's in a race with. He's just opening his heart to the light. So I love that. There's all manner of creatures and animals coming through in these cards. And if we think of beautiful like rainbow hummingbirds here, and this is just all about true colors. Like if we observe the animals, and we also have a wild innate nature, and the animals are supporting us in it. Their message is celebrate your wildness, celebrate what makes you unique, remember your connection to the earth. You know, the animals are so connected to the earth and through the earth, the divinity, and they're you know, their ecosystems are so vitally important to them. Anything else I need to say? One final card, one final card. Oh, and it is the card of blessing. Look at that, blessing. Card of blessing. May we all be blessed. May we all be blessed. This card says to me, you know, the divine feminine really is on the rise again within us all, within men, women, children, within animals, all our innate intelligence, all our intuition is coming online. And less and less, we're going to be allowing ourselves to just be blindly governed by somebody else's thoughts, feelings, agendas. And I think we're going to have a lot more input from the people in our governance in future. When we come through this bit, it's going to be a, what would the people really like, and how can we best govern them so that we can all live together in harmony? And I just feel the animals are really leading the way in this, the way that they operate in packs and groups and schools of fish. And, you know, we've got dolphins coming in. So yeah, talk to your spirit animals, notice your animals. It's so funny because they talk all the time. If an animal or an insect is showing up in your life, maybe look at what message are they bringing. So my husband and I, we've been overhauling our house. We just moved all the furniture around. We've been repainting all the walls. We've been throwing a lot of things away. There's a lot of industriousness going on in our house at the moment. And all of a sudden, in the midst of this, we had a load of ants turn up in the kitchen, and there is no more industrious collaboration than ants. They work together, they cooperate, they communicate, they look after each other. Is that not a message for humanity? We need to be like the ants, not all the same as each other, but working in community and collaboration. I think that's probably the word of the day. The beautiful ants showing up. And I think on that note, I don't really have much more to say other than bless your own inner animal, bless the body, you know, the body you reside in, and perhaps ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to support the animal kingdom or to give back to Mother Nature? How can I help support our planet? How can I help with animal conservation? Can you give of your time? Can you give of your money? Can you give of your prayer? Can you give of your energy? Just to make sure that we remember the animals. And so many of us are innate animal healers and animal communicators, and you may not even realize that you are, but just holding a prayer in your heart for the animal kingdom, because they are also going through a lot of changes. I also know that the EMFs and the Wi-Fi really impact the animals. My little cat Jez often struggles with that, so I've got a lot of shungai around the house, and I give her healing, and I do what I can to offset and neutralize those frequencies. But they also feel the solar flares and everything, so very gentle with the animals and very loving with the animals and very respectful with the animals. So on that note, thank you so much. Huge thank you also to Otter Spirit for these beautiful gems. I'm excited to wear these. And yeah, and again, just remember that you get your discount below. They've got some beautiful things on there. Also have there's a love trio that's all pinks and reds. Obviously pink is my favorite color that I've got my eye on, so I might go and buy that one as well. But loving the work that they're doing, and big shout out to all the team at Otter Spirit. And thank you so much, guys. Lots of love, and I shall endeavor to make some more videos for you soon.